There are moments in life when the weight feels unbearable, when the disappointments pile up, when prayers seem unanswered, when the world expects you to keep going, but your heart feels exhausted. You smile for people, you show strength on the outside, but deep inside, you wonder how much longer you can hold on. What you don't realize is that the only reason you are still standing is not because you are strong. It is because God is strong in you. God sees the cracks you hide. He sees the tears you never let fall. He sees the nights when you lie awake wondering if you are about to fall apart. And yet, even when you feel like you are one step away from breaking, God is quietly holding you together. You may feel like you are barely surviving, but heaven knows you are being sustained. There are pressures you carry that no one else could handle. You've been stretched, tested, and pushed beyond what you thought was possible. But God knows exactly how much weight your spirit can bear. He never allows more to come against you than what He has already placed within you. That is why even when you are tired, you are not destroyed. Even when you are hurt, you are not defeated. Even when you feel weak, you are not finished. Sometimes you think you're being delayed, but what's really happening is that God is protecting you. He is keeping you from doors that would have broken you. He is holding back situations that would have crushed your peace. You may not understand why things didn't work out, why people walked away, or why plans fell apart, but God was saving you from a collapse you never saw coming. The reason you haven't fallen apart is because God has been standing in the middle of the storm. He has been taking hits that were meant for you. He has been blocking what was designed to destroy your future. You may feel fragile, but God is your shield. There is something powerful about surviving what should have shattered you. Every time you thought, this is it, I can't take any more, God whispered, you can, because I am with you. And you kept going. Not because it was easy, but because God refused to let you break. Your pain is not pointless. Your tears are not wasted. God is using every trial to build something inside you that cannot be shaken. What tried to break you is now becoming the very thing that strengthens you. The fire did not consume you. It refined you. Even now, when you feel worn down, God is still working. He is restoring what the world tried to drain. He is rebuilding what stress tried to destroy. You may feel empty, but God is filling you with endurance. You may feel weak, but God is wrapping you in His strength. There are battles you are fighting that no one can see. People look at you and think you are fine because you still show up, you still smile, you still keep moving forward. But behind that strength is a weight you carry every day. There are worries you don't talk about, fears you keep hidden, and stress that sits heavy on your heart. What makes it harder is that when no one sees your struggle, it can feel like no one cares. But that is not true. God sees everything. God sees the pressure you are under when you are trying to be strong for everyone else. He sees the emotional strain when you are holding yourself together. He sees the mental exhaustion that comes from constantly trying to survive. Even when you can't put your pain into words, God understands it perfectly. You don't have to explain yourself to Him. You don't have to prove how hard things are. He already knows there are moments when you feel invisible, when you feel like your suffering is being overlooked. But God never overlooks you. He watches every tear you hold back and every silent cry you release in your heart. He knows how heavy your thoughts have been. He knows how often you have had to push past discouragement just to get through another day. When you think you are facing everything alone, God is standing right there with you, aware of every detail of your struggle. What you are carrying is not small. The pressure to succeed, the fear of failure, the weight of responsibility, the pain of disappointment, all of it adds up. Yet God sees not only what you are going through, but also what you are becoming. He sees the strength forming in you, even while you feel weak. He sees the growth happening in the middle of the pressure. Even when no one checks on you, God is checking on you. Even when no one understands how hard it is, God understands. He sees the nights you lie awake overthinking. He sees the days when your heart feels heavy for no clear reason. And in all of it, He remains close, watching over you, keeping you from collapsing under the weight you carry. There are days when you don't recognize yourself anymore. Your energy feels low, your motivation feels drained, and even simple things feel hard. You look in the mirror and see someone who is tired, worn down, and stretched thin. You wonder where your strength went. You wonder why everything feels so heavy. In those moments, it's easy to believe you are falling apart, but what you don't see is that God is holding every broken piece of you together. Your weakness is not a sign that you are failing. It is a sign that you have been strong for a long time. You have carried more than most people know. You have kept going through disappointment, heartbreak, stress, and uncertainty. And now you feel weak not because you are done, but because you have been giving everything you have. God knows this. That is why He steps in when you can't hold yourself anymore. Even when your thoughts feel scattered, God is bringing order. Even when your emotions feel unstable, God is creating balance. You might feel like you are barely holding on, but God is holding you firmly. He is strengthening you in ways you cannot feel yet. He is restoring you in places you didn't even realize were wounded. Sometimes God works the quietest when you are the weakest. There are no loud miracles, no dramatic signs, just a steady, unseen support keeping you from collapsing. You wake up another day even though you didn't think you could. You take one more step even though you feel empty. That is not an accident. That is God sustaining you. Your heart may feel fragile, but it has not broken because God has been surrounding it with His presence. When your faith feels small, God's faithfulness is still big. When your strength feels gone, God's strength is still active. You are not being held together by willpower. You are being held together by grace. There are times when you feel frustrated because things are not moving the way you hoped they would. You prayed, you planned, you tried, and yet the door didn't open. The opportunity didn't come. The answer didn't arrive. From where you stand, it feels like nothing is happening, like you're being left behind while others move ahead. But what feels like a delay to you is often God stepping in to protect you. God sees what you cannot see. He sees the outcomes, the hidden dangers, and the future consequences of every path. You may be eager to move forward, but God knows what would have happened if you had gone too soon. There are situations that look good on the surface, but would have drained your peace, damaged your heart, or distracted you from what truly matters. So God slows you down, not to punish you, but to keep you safe. Sometimes the delay is saving you from people who were not meant to stay in your life. Sometimes it is keeping you from opportunities that would have cost you more than they gave. Sometimes it is protecting you from stress, failure, or heartbreak you weren't prepared to handle. You may not see the danger, but God does, and His love will not let you walk into something that would break you. While you are waiting, God is working. He is strengthening you, preparing you, and aligning things in ways you don't yet understand. The pause you are in right now is not wasted time. It is preparation time. It is protection time. It is God arranging everything so that when the moment does come, it will be right, not rushed. One day you will look back and realize that what you thought was a setback was actually a shield. The closed doors were not rejection. They were God's hand blocking what was not meant for you. The waiting you disliked so much was actually God keeping you from walking into something too heavy for your heart. There are things that have happened to you that were never meant to happen. Words that cut deep. Situations that left scars, moments that change you in ways you never expected. Sometimes it feels like those experiences have become part of your identity, like your pain is now the first thing people see when they look at you. But God never intended your wounds to become your name. What was meant to destroy you does not have the authority to define you. The betrayal did not get to decide your worth. The failure did not get to label your future. The loss did not get to write the final chapter of your life. God is greater than every painful thing you have been through, and He is the only one who gets to say who you are. The enemy may try to use your past to keep you stuck, but God uses your past to move you forward. He takes what hurt you and turns it into something that helps you grow. He takes what was meant to break your spirit and uses it to build your strength. You may carry memories of what you survived, but you are not bound by them. Even when you feel marked by pain, God sees you marked by purpose. He sees who you were created to be, not just what you went through. Your scars are not signs of weakness. They are evidence that you made it through something that should have ended you. And God is still writing your story. No matter how deep the hurt was, it will never be deeper than God's power to restore. No matter how heavy the pain feels, it will never outweigh the future God has prepared for you. What tried to destroy you only revealed how strong God is within you. There comes a moment in every life when you feel like you have reached your limit. You have tried everything you know to do. You have prayed, waited, pushed forward, and still nothing seems to change. You feel emotionally exhausted, mentally drained, and spiritually worn down. It feels like you are standing at the edge, wondering how much more you can take. But what you don't realize is that this moment, the one that feels like the end, is often the place where God begins something new. A breaking point is not where you lose everything. It is where you finally let go of what you cannot control. When you reach the place where you no longer have the strength to keep holding in everything together, you make room for God to step in. That surrender opens the door for a breakthrough that could never happen while you were still trying to carry everything on your own. Many of the greatest changes in life begin at the lowest moments, when you are stripped of pride, when you are emptied of self-reliance, when you are tired of pretending you are okay. That is when God can rebuild you. Your breaking point becomes the place where your heart becomes open to transformation. What feels like falling apart is often God rearranging things. He is removing what no longer serves your future. He is shaking loose what was holding you back. Even though it hurts, even though it feels unstable, something new is being formed. The breakthrough is not always sudden or dramatic. Sometimes it begins quietly with a shift in your heart, a new understanding, or a small step forward. The reason this season feels so intense is because you are standing at the doorway of change. You are closer than you think to something better, even though everything around you feels uncertain. God uses these moments of weakness to bring you into a place of deeper strength, a clear purpose, and greater peace. Some of the hardest fights you face are the ones no one else knows about. The quiet struggles in your mind, the fears you don't speak out loud, the doubts you wrestle with when you are alone. On the outside, people may see you functioning, working, and moving forward, but inside you are fighting wars that would overwhelm anyone if they were visible. God sees those unseen battles, and He is using them for something far greater than you realize. Unseen battles shape you in ways visible victories never could. When you have to trust God without applause, without recognition, without anyone understanding what you are going through, your faith becomes real. It is no longer based on comfort or easy answers. It is built on deep trust. Every time you choose to keep believing, even when things don't make sense, your faith grows stronger. God often does His greatest work in the hidden places of your life, in the quiet moments when you are praying through tears, in the long nights when you are holding on in a hope with everything you have. God is building something unshakable inside you. He is teaching you to rely on Him, not on what you see or feel. These unseen battles are preparing you for things you haven't reached yet. They are strengthening your heart so that when bigger challenges come, you will not fall apart. You are learning endurance. You are learning patience. You are learning how to stand even when everything feels unstable. Even though no one may notice your struggle, God does. He honors every moment you keep going when it would be easier to give up. He is shaping a faith in you that will not collapse when storms come, because it was built in the middle of them. There have been moments when you honestly didn't know how you would make it through. Times when the pressure was too heavy, the pain was too real, and the future felt too uncertain. You kept waking up, going, kept breathing, even when you felt empty inside. You might call it luck or coincidence, but the truth is deeper than that. You are still here because God has been sustaining you. Survival is not always loud or heroic. Sometimes survival looks like getting out of bed when you don't feel like it. Sometimes it looks like holding yourself together when everything inside wants to fall apart. Those small, quiet acts of endurance are not happening by chance. God is giving you the strength to keep going even when you don't feel strong. When you were at your lowest, God was closer than you realized. He was giving you just enough peace to make it through the day, just enough hope to keep you from giving up, just enough courage to take one more step. You may not have felt him, but he was there holding you steady through every storm. Every breath you take, every day you make it through is evidence of God's care over your life. Even when you felt forgotten, you were being protected. Even when you felt weak, you were being supported. You did not carry yourself through the darkest moments. God carried you. There is a reason you are still standing after everything you have faced. There is a reason you didn't give up even when it felt like too much. God has been pouring his strength into you moment by moment, keeping you going when you thought you had nothing left. There are seasons when you feel completely drained. Your joy feels gone, your motivation feels weak, and even your faith feels quiet. You give so much of yourself to people, to responsibilities, to problems that never seem to end. And one day you wake feeling like there is nothing left inside you. That emptiness can feel scary, like you are losing yourself, but God is not letting you run dry without a purpose. When you feel empty, God is creating space for something deeper. He is not just refilling you with temporary strength. He is building endurance inside you. Endurance is different from energy. Energy fades quickly, but endurance carries you through long seasons. God knows you are in a season that requires more than a quick boost. You need the kind of strength that lasts, and that is what he is giving you. Sometimes God allows you to feel empty so that you will learn to lean on him instead of on yourself. When you realize you don't have enough, you begin to rely on his supply, and his supply never runs out. He pours patience where there was frustration. He pours peace where there was anxiety. He pours courage where there was fear. The emptiness you feel is not a sign that you are being abandoned. It is a sign that God is working deeper than your emotions. He is strengthening your heart, steadying your mind, and anchoring your soul. You may not feel full right now, but you are being fortified for what lies ahead. One day you will look back and realize that this season of feeling empty was actually the season that made you unbreakable. God was filling you with the kind of strength that doesn't give up when things get hard. Every hardship you have faced, every trial you survived, every moment you thought you couldn't go on, none of it was wasted. The pain, the disappointment, the loneliness, all of it has been shaping you in ways you may not fully understand yet. What didn't destroy you didn't just leave you standing. It left you equipped. It prepared you to become a source of hope, guidance, and strength for others who will face similar struggles. You may look at your past and think, why did I have to go through that? Or why did this happen to me? But the truth is, God has been using every trial as a training ground. The lessons you learned through your tears, the resilience you built through pain, and the patience you developed through waiting. All of these are tools that you will one day use to help someone else navigate life. Your broken moments are becoming the blueprint for leadership and compassion. People often don't realize how powerful their experiences can be. Someone else may be going through exactly what you went through, feeling hopeless and overwhelmed. And when they see your testimony, your perseverance, or hear your words, it sparks faith in them. God is turning your survival into a ministry. What you once thought was weakness is now wisdom. What you once thought was shame is now testimony. Leadership is often born in the crucible of struggle. When you've walked through fire and survived, you gain empathy, insight, and understanding that cannot be taught from a book. You know how to encourage, how to guide, and how to lift others up because you've been there yourself. Your journey gives your words weight. Your presence gives comfort, and your testimony gives hope. God never allows experiences to break you without intending to use them for a greater purpose. Every scar you bear, every tear you've cried, every late night you spent wondering if you could make it, these are the very things that will allow you to become a beacon for someone else. What didn't break you is not just proof of your strength. It is preparation for your impact. Life is full of pressures, challenges, and unseen forces that often try to overwhelm us. Sometimes it feels like everything is closing in at once. Deadlines, disappointments, conflicts, and losses all piling on your shoulders. You may wonder how you are even making it through, and at times it can feel like you are just a step away from collapsing under the weight. But in those very moments, God is standing as your shield. He is actively positioning himself between you and the storms that could crush your spirit. You may not always understand why certain struggles didn't end you, or why certain people's situations or dangers never touched you the way they could have. The truth is, God is intervening quietly and constantly. He is intercepting what was meant to hurt you, block you, or break you even before you see it coming. He stands guard over your mind, your heart, and your life, ensuring that the attacks designed to harm you never get past his protection. Even when you feel exposed, vulnerable, or alone, God's presence is like a protective wall you cannot see, but that is real. You may look around and see chaos, uncertainty, or threats, yet you remain standing because his hand is over you. It's not that the battles don't exist. The storms are real, but you are shielded from the full force of them. What could have destroyed you is being held at bay. God doesn't only protect you from external pressures, he also shields you from internal destruction. The despair, fear, or doubt that could paralyze your spirit when life tries to convince you that you are not enough, that you cannot go on, or that the weight is too much. God stands as the barrier between you and self-destruction. This is why, despite the hardships, you are still moving forward. Despite the setbacks, you are still breathing, still hopeful, and still resilient. You are alive and functioning not merely by your own strength, but because God has stood in the gap. He has positioned himself as the defender of your destiny, the protector of your purpose, and the anchor of your soul. The suffering you are enduring right now may feel meaningless. The late nights, the broken relationships, the missed opportunities, the failures, and the disappointments, they can make life feel heavy, cruel, and pointless. You may ask yourself, why am I going through this? Or will this ever make sense? But what feels wasted, God is quietly using to shape, mold, and transform you into a stronger, wiser, and more compassionate person. Pain is not meaningless in God's hands. Every tear, every hurt, every moment you felt like giving up is being transformed into strength, wisdom, and resilience. Just like raw materials are shaped into something useful and beautiful by fire and pressure, your experiences are refining you. God takes what was meant to harm you and uses it to craft something that serves a greater purpose, something beyond what you can see or imagine right now. When life tests you, it is not for nothing. Every challenge has a lesson, even if it is hidden in the struggle. God is teaching patience in your waiting, humility in your failures, courage in your fears, and perseverance in your disappointments. What you are going through is not just about surviving the moment. It is about being prepared for the future. Sometimes transformation happens slowly, almost imperceptibly. You may not feel stronger day to day, but when you look back months or years from now, you will see how far you have come. You will realize that the pain you endured was not random, it was purposeful. Every trial has been a building block for your character, your faith, and your understanding of life. Even the things that hurt the most are being repurposed by God. Your scars, your failures, and your struggles are not evidence of defeat. They are evidence of God's work within you. Your pain is being transformed into endurance, your trials into testimony, and your suffering into a source of hope for others. Nothing you experience in God's plan is wasted. Even when it feels overwhelming, as we come to the end of this message, I want you to take a moment and really let this sink in. You are still standing, not because life has been easy, not because the storms passed, not because the pain disappeared. You are still standing because God has been holding you together. Every tear, every struggle, every moment you felt weak, He was there, sustaining you, protecting you, and preparing you for what lies ahead. Life may continue to bring challenges. There may still be trials that test your patience, your strength, and your faith. But now you know the truth. The same God who has carried you this far will continue to carry you. He will not allow what is meant to destroy you to define you. He will continue to use every difficulty to strengthen you, to shape you, and to guide you. You are not alone. You are not abandoned. You are not a victim of circumstances. You are a survivor, sustained by the hands of God, refined by His love, and empowered by His presence. The storms may roll, but you will not be broken. The weight may press down, but you will not collapse. The enemy may try to discourage you, but God's power will always shield you. So rise today with courage, stand with confidence, walk in faith. Trust that every moment you feel fragile is a moment God is making you unshakable. Remember, what has tried to break you is only shaping you for greatness. You are stronger than you think, braver than you feel, and held by a God who will never let you fall. Keep going, keep believing, keep trusting, and let the God who keeps you from breaking be the reason you keep standing no matter what.